I just want to feel loved and cared for. Whenever I think those words or say them, I feel so weirdly uncomfortable because I've made my life very much not about the feeling of love and of care. And it's like, it doesn't matter because I can handle it myself and I don't need anyone to love me or care about me because, I'm a tough guy. Don't need that. But I had these recurring thoughts, and that's one of them. Constantly looping around. It's like, man, I just wish like I could, wake up not alone and not have to do all this shit by myself and feel something close to what that emotion is. When I see other people seemingly finding that thing that everyone tells me is so awesome, I'm like, wow, damn, that's so cool. Never gonna get to experience it, but wow, I wonder what that's like. But I felt like I've just never felt that, really. And that doesn't mean it was never there. That doesn't mean that I haven't gone through my life with anyone not caring about me. I don't think that's true. I just think that I've never really felt it or known how to understand it. And I remember when I was maybe 15, 14, family was asking me like, hey, like, do you love us? Like, what do you think about love? And I was like, I don't know what the word love means. I don't understand it. I see people being abusive to their partners and then telling them that they love them. And I'm like, well, that's not love. And the whole concept of it for me was just terribly confusing. And not to mention I was struggling with my ability to just be emotional, and I'm shaking because it's so cold outside. But struggling to be very emotionally present with people was tough. It was very challenging. So when I began to interact with, females and whatnot, learn about them, trying to understand what the heck these emotions I'm feeling are. And that need and that want that I didn't feel like was being addressed from before. When I would see relationships fail and I'd see things fail, I'd think, oh my gosh, man, I don't want that to be me. I don't want to experience that pain. It looks so uncomfortable. And I'm so used to running away from pain. So why in the heck would I put myself in a situation that's very painful? And I would think about why those relationships failed. I'm like, well, that person wasn't good enough. That person didn't have this or that and this, and you need this thing to be accepted and to be loved and to be cared for. There is a condition behind the love that you will receive. And that was probably one of the biggest points for me, realizing that maybe I'll never be good enough. And one day I worked up the courage to, try. I could maybe do this. But I was with someone who told me like, yeah, you're worth it. And like all these feelings, because, of course, like I was a very introspective person. I wanted to open up emotionally. I wanted to, this is who I am. This is what I'm about. This is what I think. This is what I'm insecure about. And they're like, yeah, no, but like, you should never feel like you're not worth it or whatever. But then again, I'm the one who's alone right now. Right? So, don't believe her. I don't believe her. Because at the end of the day, that's what it comes down to. If somebody, from my perspective, if someone leaves you, it just means that you weren't good enough. You weren't interesting enough. There's something that you didn't have that maybe they wanted. So this idea of telling people that you are good enough, sure, maybe, but it doesn't sit right with me. Never has. So what happens when I think that I can't be good enough, and maybe I never can be good enough? I can never achieve perfection. I can never achieve what someone wants because I don't know what people want. What do I do? And what got to me the most about that, when I was seeing that girl, was that my life was actually going a lot better. I got new job. I got like 2 raises, and I was like, my life is improving so much. I was thinking, my life is improving so much right now when I'm dating this girl. Like, how could I not be someone worth staying with? I was growing as a person. So then I think to myself, like, no matter what I do, there's never going to be any amount of money or any amount of anything that's going to satisfy anybody. So I curl up into this ball and say, all right, I'll never be it. Whatever it is, right? So when you feel like you've been deprived of like emotional care or feeling loved, you become a little bit desperate for it. Like you really want it. You feel like, oh my gosh, like, what if I never have this? And it runs through your mind. And because of that desperation, like when you meet people or you latch onto these situations, you don't really know how to act because you spent so much time away from trying to connect with others. And also when you're thinking about, okay, it's cold as fuck. This desperation that you have, it can cause instability, emotional instability, because you have no idea what it's like to feel any of these emotions, because maybe you're somebody who represses them. And the issue with that is, when you're feeling that you're underdeveloped, you don't know how to trust yourself if things fall apart. If you're somebody who emotionally represses your stuff and then like you end up in a situation like this, it's like, oh my gosh, like if I go through this with this person, am I gonna be able to pick myself up after all those pieces crumble? So these questions run through my mind and they make it like, fuck, gotta dodge these potential relationships, you know? I can't end up committing to any of this because like shit, like I don't want to end up feeling terrible. So then what becomes my solution? What becomes my solution if I'm not good enough, if I feel like I can't trust people, right? I feel like people are always going to lie to me and not necessarily say the truth because I've seen these situations play out. What do I do? How do I orient myself towards the world in a good way if I believe that I could never be loved and I could never have a relationship and all these things? Well, I tell myself, okay, I need a meaning and a purpose to live beyond the process of love or loving. What could that be? Well, I start thinking maybe I can make myself altruistic. I can make myself seem noble. I can strive for a purpose beyond or greater than myself. And focus myself on trying to make a positive change. Because even if I can't have love or whatever it is, at least I can still have meaning. But that meaning was created out of sadness. It was created out of desperation. It was created because I need a reason to live. I need a reason to keep going. Right? So this is it. This is what we have to do. And then it becomes everything that I am as a person. And I'm not crying. I'm just shaky. It's cold. Again, I create this like ideal projection of self, of this person that I want to be, this person that I need to be, because it's a way to avoid pain. It's a way to avoid all of those emotions because, hey, this guy can overcome anything, can do anything, and he can just focus on something that is real, that I can progress towards, that makes sense, right? Because when you believe that love and care and those things aren't real, it's like you need to find something. Anyway, this is a very chilly talk outside. I'm going to go back inside now. Okay, goodbye.